Hey everyone, happy Monday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So why don't we start with what Rafa did today. So we are back on the 68 double cab bus and the scene is coming right together here. So today Rafa built out the doors pretty much. So he's got the windows on. They're very clear, so it's hard to tell, but they're there. So the regular door windows, vent windows, got all that built out. Got the, see if I can open this with one hand. It's hard without a handle on it. Getting foiled here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, mechanisms are in, and we ordered the door handles. Somehow the door handles we had were not correct for this bus, but they were the ones that came with it, so who knows. Anyhow, so we got those, and those will be in tomorrow. Get those finished out. The cargo door here, the bumper's on it. I don't think that was on before. And let's see if I can open this one with one hand. Oh, there we go. This one actually has a latch and no window, so easy. But yeah, this is pretty much all built out here. Hinge covers on, all those little hinge hole covers, little hinge topper things, all these little details that we love here. Just checking them off one by one. Another little detail here is the little end caps for the dash. Found some appropriate hardware for those and got them bolted on, so looks super clean with those on there, along with this bitchin' dash that our friends over at OC Westy recovered in vinyl. These awesome stitch lines on them. Freaking amazing. So there's that. What else? Back window went on it, so that's pretty exciting. Also hard to tell it's there, but it's there. And what else? Up on the nose of the bus, the grill went on, so another little detail finished up here. So yeah, moving right along here with this thing. Octavio and his team next door are continuing to work on the interior for this. They finished the back seat. I think they're done with the front seats, and I believe they are starting already on the door panels. So and then obviously they're gonna do a headliner. So yeah, this thing's gonna come along super fast. I think, fingers crossed, that the fuel injection system for this little bad boy should be arriving in our shop here any day now. So get those throttle bodies on, get the fan shroud on, get that all set up. I still need to order the air conditioning system because I'd probably like to get that at least like mocked up as far as, you know, where the compressor goes, which I think is going to sit about here and stuff like that before I put the motor in the car. I think I mentioned that before on these. It's kind of a pain in the ass to take the motor in and out because the engine and transmission on these bay windows, at least the early bay windows, goes in as a unit. So for those of you that haven't heard me talk about this before, so yeah, the transmission bolts on here obviously and goes forward, and then the way these things are mounted is there's a transmission mount up front on the nose cone, and then there's this big bar that goes across the back of the motor here, so the pulley side, and that mounts to kind of the frame on either side. So it's basically just suspended at the back and the front as a unit. So there's no way, unlike say a Beetle or an earlier bus, where you can take the engine in and out easily to, you know, say like do mock-ups and stuff like that. No, you gotta put in or drop the whole thing. So I'd rather get as much stuff done on the engine as possible before actually stabbing it and the transmission in there. So we'll see. But again, hopefully those parts are showing up soon. So those are pretty much the main things that happened on this beauty today. So, man, it's so dirty, but yeah, we'll maybe give it a bath here sometime soon. So for me, a couple things today. One is, I guess I'm gonna have to walk outside for this one. Let's see. On the bitchin' cow car, this puppy got its running boards today. Woo, look at that. So fucking killer. Oop, excuse my language. So neato. There you go. So yeah, running boards are on there, and today ordered the gas tank and a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, this puppy also is going to come together here very soon. So yeah, running boards, they were kind of a pain in the ass. I had to stretch some holes on them and on one or two of the fenders, and it's amazing how long it can take to put a set of running boards on one of these cars sometimes. So then I turned my attention to the Baja Bug. And so the fuel tank that he had in here, which is this red one that you see right there, did not have any provisions for a fuel sender. So that sucked because he wouldn't have known, how much gas he had ever without, just like looking in through the cap. And furthermore, there was no access to the gas tank short of tilting the whole one piece front end forward. So he got another gas tank that has a provisions for a fuel sender on it, and he also got this thing, which will mount about right here where this is marked, like that, and then you unscrew. Again, hard to do with one hand. There you go. So you unscrew this big thing here. Boom, that comes off. Obviously, this will be open in here. And then you can just reach through, pull this off, fill the gas up, and then put this back on. All that without having to tilt the front end forward. So much more convenient. He'll know how much gas he has, and when he has to fill it, it won't be a ginormous pain in the ass. So that'll be good. So started kind of mocking that up. The one thing I found that I'm not super happy about, but it's not a huge deal, but again, I am kind of anally retentive, is that, let me actually grab this again, is that because of these features on the hood, the furthest this can go over is to where this outer lip pretty much lines up with the bottom of this feature. So about where I have this tape right here, like that. It can't really go any further that way. So unfortunately, when the gas tank is perfectly centered left to right, that puts this thing a ways into this hump here. And there's no practical way to mount this thing on here like that. So this has got to go over an inch or so this way, which means the tank is going to be a little off center. You can see I pretty much have it mocked up where it's going to go now. So if you look at the end of the tank there with the kind of body line and compare it to this side, you can see it's maybe like 1.5 inches that way to get this thing in a position that's going to play nicely with the features on here. Nothing I can do about that. And it's not like the car is going to, weigh 500 pounds more on that side. It's just one of those things that kind of bugs me, but nothing really to do about that. And he's probably like never going to be opening that anyway, because now he's going to have a fuel gauge. So there you go. So I started mocking that up, and then kind of got back onto the wiring for this car. So I went ahead and routed the wires for the turn signal, which I talked about on, I don't remember, Friday or Saturday, whenever that was. So I routed those to the back of the car. And then also I went ahead and I added a couple more wires here. So one of these, the blue one, is for the idiot light for oil pressure, which this car didn't have an idiot light or a gauge or anything for oil pressure, which is probably the reason that the motor seized, because it didn't have any oil pressure and they had no way of knowing. The second one, the red one here, is for the oil temperature gauge that he wants installed. So ran those all the way to the back, and here they are here. So these two are turn signals, and then these are those two, the Idealite and the gauge I just talked about. So yeah, I got those all routed pretty neatly along here, basically like he had them. I just added them inside of this, you know, flexible conduit stuff here, and then I had to drill out these things, these little clamps that were riveted on, and run the wires through, and then re-rivet those. Weird thing is, this car for some reason had I don't know, like 3 feet too much of wire here. I don't know why. The wires that they ran from the back of the car to the front, you can see it coiled up here, and then from there it just goes to the back of the car. I don't know why somebody left those that long. But anyway, so yeah, I just kind of coiled that up. It was just kind of laying down there all messy looking. So I at least coiled it up, zip tied those together, and then the new wires that I ran just kind of bypass that big loop, and they come through the harness here and then just kind of jump over and then exit out the back of the car and then follow the existing wires up underneath there. So yeah, kind of weird things people do on some of these cars, but yeah, this is all going to be hidden anyway. So this this board thing here kind of covers this like back seat area, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be underneath that, so it won't really show. And anyway, it's a Baja Bug, so you're kind of allowed to have stuff like that because they're cool and kind of rough around the corners or around the edges. So yeah, I got those ran and pretty much ready to wire up to the back. So again, these new lights that we added here are going to be turn signals, brakes, and running lights, and then added this new license plate frame here that has a like a tail light, running light, whatever you want to call it, for the license plate. So yeah, those are all going to be new. And then these lights that were existing here are already running lights and brake lights. So have all kinds of running lights and brake lights, and then you'll have turn signals now, which were not on there before. So that's pretty much what I did today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thanks for watching, all that good stuff, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.